So Jacob Elordi is really on a roll when it comes to these gothic period pieces. I love a good gothic period piece. So I was really happy when I heard about Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein that's coming out on Netflix later this year. So Jacob Elordi will be playing the monster Frankenstein. Well, it's actually the scientist Dr. Frankenstein who is the monster. But anyway, that doesn't matter. We're not here to talk about Frankenstein. We're here to talk about Wuthering Heights. So Jacob Elordi has been cast as Heathcliff and Margot Robbie as the woman. I really don't know anything about this. I haven't read the book. I just know it's a gothic period piece and it's a romance, and I've read a few articles that have said like nothing really about the actual story, so I don't really know a lot about the story, but it's all been about the controversy, and I don't know. Look, I haven't read the book. I can't speak to that, but it seems to be sort of like it ends with our situation with Blake Lively, where we had this woman in her 30s casting herself in a role because she had a lot of power in that movie, let's be honest, casting herself in a role that was meant for a woman much younger than her. And look, I haven't read that book, but I heard a lot of people say that it made sense in the context of that story. I don't know how true that is, but once again, Margot Robbie is heavily involved in this movie. She basically, from what I've read, I don't know how true it is, cast herself as the woman who's meant to be a teenager in the book, and as a woman in her 30s, I think it's a bit silly because teenagers do not act in any way like 30-year-old women act. But then I guess you have to think, why are people acting like that? Is it because they don't like a big casting controversy is the fact that there's an age gap? I mean, Margot Robbie was just in a movie with Colin Farrell and he's 14 years older, but people only have an issue with Jacob, who's 7 years younger. I don't know. Like, if that's the only issue, who cares? As long as they look good together and have good chemistry, which from what I've seen, they do. I've seen a bit of the trailer, not all of it, but if it's actually an important, integral part of the story, which apparently it is, like, correct me if I'm wrong, she's meant to be a teenager, right? So if that's the case, then yes, I don't think this is the right casting choice. And I also do agree that Margot Robbie has what a lot of people are referring to as iPhone face. She has a very modern face. So I feel like Frankenstein, to mention that once again, Mia Goth is perfect for that sort of period piece. She's going to be in that movie. I feel like I could really have seen her alongside Jacob Elordi in this. So Jacob Elordi, there's been controversy with his casting as well, not just because of the age thing, but because of race, because we have to jam that into everything these days. So people are really bothered by the fact that in the book he's meant to be represented by, like, he's meant to be a darker skinned individual. And look, we have to think of context in those times, in that environment. Darker skinned could have meant Romani, and I really do feel like Jacob could have pulled that look off. He could be. But people seem to only be satisfied if it's very blatant. Like, he could still be true to what the book is meaning, and all those issues that are very relevant apparently to the book. Once again, haven't read it, but it's meant to be heavily focused on classism, racism. Those could still be told within the context of a Romani character. But anyway, I don't know. I feel like it's not really a big issue considering it gets done the opposite way all the time and nobody says anything. So I just care about the chemistry. If it's a good movie, if it's a good story, that's what I want to see, an engaging story. As someone who is a fan of the book, I could see them being bothered by, the little details, but for me, I don't care about that. I've got to be honest. I just want to see an entertaining story. So let's have a look at the trailer and see if it looks any good.
Fall in,
I can follow you like a dog to the end of the world.
fall in love. Fall in.
Well, it looks good. So far, I'll say that.
What? Oh, yes, fine.
I feel like she does still have iPhone face. It looks beautiful. It's very visually stunning, I'll say that.
Do you want me to stop?
Okay, so earlier when I said that I'd only seen a bit of the trailer, I meant like only a few seconds, and I started to have my doubts. I started to think with the kneading of the dough, it might be going in a certain direction, but I still had hope as someone who loves period pieces set in the Gothic Victorian type era. I had hope because those are often not filled with violence and smart, and this looks like it's 50 Shades of Grey with a period piece sugar candy coating. It's, yeah, no interest anymore in that. It just looks like straight up smart, not an actual romance. So I'm disappointed. I was really looking forward to it based on just the poster. It had a really authentic vintage look to it. And yeah, what I'd seen so far of the marketing, it looks really good. And this does look visually stunning. I will say that the director is the same director as Saltburn, which is another movie that was just way too gratuitous, but it did look visually amazing. So yeah, it is what it is, I guess. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you've read the book, are you still excited for this? Otherwise, I'll see you in the next video.